That lawnmower. That's it. Start that. Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know.
I made a post and basically told Roach. He tagged Lamar Roach and he said, "Look, you're not getting that fight with Tank."
Might be too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, like, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, like, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying like he should have took a fight with Lamar Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know. It's like, bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him.
Gervonta Davis stays fully focused on sharpness, power, and discipline as he prepares for Jake Paul, while Rolly Romero reminds fans that Tank's legacy is already secure despite Jake's Najee stresses that experience and skill outweigh size. Noting Jake Paul's physicality can't compare to Gervonta Davis's years of training, ring IQ, and elite-level competition.
More to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. Yeah. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks,
the answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment,
a visual that will stay forever.
Yeah, but if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion in multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jim, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot?
Lopez sees the fight as more spectacle than sport, emphasizing it's driven by entertainment and money. Is still valuable for boxing by attracting mainstream attention and new fans, calling it a sideshow with no real competitive value, arguing it's pure entertainment rather than a meaningful fight for either career. Number 5. Jeff Mayweather shares Nate Diaz's skepticism, calling the matchup odd and unnecessary, questioning why a proven champion like Tank should face a YouTuber turned boxer.
Invested on it, and I'm actually very happy for Gervonta and Jake. I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way,
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this gonna work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, they know what they're doing. And, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction? A show. A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know. But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah. And will that end the same way?
Possibly. Maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man. And if it's a show like this, anything goes, anything happens.
Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna do.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
He's just too small.
it just I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the
I
fight?
don't want to lose to somebody else. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm
it's a
not
good
hating
fight?
on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch it, see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah, that's
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward.
Jay Flores, Jake Paul's trainer, views the Tank Davis fight as a stepping stone, saying it boosts Jake's profile while his true path lies with cruiserweights and heavyweights where his size fits best. Davies blasts the fight as a circus that values spectacle over substance, warning it risks damaging boxing's integrity with mismatches driven by money. Though he admits controversy still fuels massive buzz.
I knew AJ and Jake was never gonna happen.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was actually gonna happen? Bro, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like so many people just believe everything online.
But that's pretty unbelievable on the other hand.
I feel like I know. Well, okay, how do I say it like this? Itoma versus White. I had a lot of people bet on White winning. And I'm there like, you guys don't watch boxing, do you? You just look at a record and go, oh, Dylan's fought many more people than Itoma. That record says a lot. Itoma's like 18, not 18, Itoma's 20, inexperienced, one. Like, I just knew Itoma was gonna just destroy him. And I think a good fight for
one of my good friends, Armani, he has been working with Jake Paul for the last 2 years. There was a little time where Shane wasn't there with Jake, and Armani called me up and said, "Hey, BJ, will you come down to Big Bear and spar with Jake?" And I'm like, "You want me to spar with Jake?" I'm thinking to myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's beating up all his sparring partners. I was like, all right. I mean, fine, I'll go down there and do it. I have been inactive. I haven't done anything for like 8 months. But I was like, okay, I'll go down there. So we spar a couple times. After that, they decided I was too big for him. And, you know, it's better if we just, you know, not do it. And, you know, then they asked me if I would be interested in like working the mitts with him and helping him with the combinations, because I was hitting him with some combinations they hadn't seen before. And I said, we can teach him all those things and have him doing all those things. And so I started working the mitts with him and helping him out on the mitts. And he told his trainers and everybody, they're like, man, I want BJ around for the entire camp because I'm getting better. My job is like Shane does the advice.
Vargas Jr. sees the fight's unpredictability as its main appeal, saying the shock factor alone creates excitement and keeps fans talking, whether viewed positively or...
I think we've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire because we thought we were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week. £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. It's a circus fight as opposed to a disgrace of a fight. which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. At least you feel in this you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that, do I mean Charlie Brooker? No, Baker. Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars. And that's the only reason that Gervonta Davis, who's being called the poison little elf by Jake Paul, and it'll be fun in the build-up. Everybody in boxing knows they're guaranteed to make millions of those silverbacks, those greenback notes that they give out in America, and they give them out for fun when Jake Paul fights. So he's not going to say no to it. But can you pick a winner in that fight?
I don't want to. Revived boxing by engaging younger fans, and despite purist criticism, sees the Davis fight as a controversial, necessary step in the sport's evolution. Number 11 for Jake Paul.
This generation, as far as like fighters, they relate to more who's more popular. You know, that's why we're seeing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta fight, which is, bro, that's crazy to me because we would never see that. And you know, back in my dad's day, but now we're getting this, and it's just like, fuck it. I mean, people are gonna see it, bro. So it is what it is. But whether people know him more or not, or me, it doesn't matter. You know, I know that he's coming, and he's coming game, and he wants to make a statement as well. So we're just coming to interrupt those plans. You know, this is boxing, and you know, I'm so excited to demonstrate my skills. I could box, I could counterpunch, I could bang when I want to, and I'm gonna demonstrate that. I'm gonna do what I want to do in there. Come September 13th.
Yeah, you know, we spoke about this a little bit earlier. But it's a 10-round fight. You know, could be a different pace of a fight. But what do you think is like the key for you to get this win, regardless if it's a knockout or if it goes all 10 rounds?
I think just be smart. Be in there, be smart, be first, and do what I do. I think if I try to do a little too much, like my dad says, when you try doing too much, it looks you're trying too hard. So only thing I got to do is just come in the best shape possible. If it goes 10 rounds, then it goes 10 rounds. You know, we're doing 12 rounds of sparring. So if it needs to go to 10 rounds, we'll have the gas tank to go. You know, I don't know if he's gone a full 10 rounds. You know, I haven't. So it'll be something for fight day